I'm back. I was going to record a video based on last night's stream, using the footage from last night's stream, but then I realized the audio was absolute crap. So I'm going to re-record this now using my other setup and see what I can do later to fix my audio setup from the stream. Apologies, guys, if you've been getting a lot of static. I now hear what you said, and we're gonna fix that. At any rate, I digress. I want to talk for a minute about. This is going to be the last video I make, by the way, on the subject, Diablo Immortal. Now, what I said last night in stream is important because it's something that I feel you all need to understand. Because a lot of people are making a lot of stuff up about this. Some of it's baseless, but this will give you a little bit of perspective, at least from the business side, about what's going on here. Now, I'm going to summarize, so bear with me. When you look at, as a company, at what your product lines are, you have to evaluate what kind of revenue each of those product lines bring in. As Blizzard, if you look at World of Warcraft, you have subscriptions, you have microtransactions from their Mountain Pet store, as well as online services like character transfers, factions transfers, etc. When you look at Heroes of the Storm or Hearthstone, you have microtransactions that are, of course, Hearthstone follows the standard trading card transaction form, which is normal. And you've got skins and heroes and things that you can acquire through different means in Heroes of the Storm. When you look at Overwatch and you look at StarCraft 2, these all have esports money coming in, which means sponsors, licensing, big promotions, big events. These draw in more money, they draw in more fans. And of course you have like companies like Samsung and so forth paying licensing fees to be at these events, to have their products featured on the stage, because they know that if I'm a fan of a certain esports player and they have the gear, I'm probably going to want to buy that gear. These all generate guaranteed streams of revenue for these different franchises. Diablo has only had 3 different points where it has brought in a lot of money. When it released, when the expansion released, and then again when the DLC released for the Necromancer. Diablo is not something that was generating a ton of money, at least in the Western markets. I know that they've been working with NetEase for over 10 years to localize their products for the Eastern markets. And the Eastern versions of these games are drastically different than the Western version of these games. Now, Diablo, while probably still making a decent amount of revenue in the East using the microtransaction system, is not making a ton of money in the West. Therefore, it's the least profitable franchise that they have. One of the things that I'm sure they wanted to do is branch out into a market. Now, you guys, I found this out watching Boogie298's video on this, but you can Google it. I Googled it. You can see that the mobile market, the mobile portion of the gaming market, generates a lion's share of the profits. It's basically a 2-to-1 ratio to what the console and PC gaming markets create. That's not good, okay? As far as looking and saying, oh, well, we want to make this. That makes a lot more money. Now, this is obviously a spot where any smart business would want to expand into, and Blizzard is smart. They want to make money. And Diablo Immortal makes sense for them because they're already working with NetEase, who has made games like this before. So they already have the technology to be able to do this. Why it looks similar is because this is a very similar structure to what they already have. And of course they're going to go with what works. You go with what you know works. And of course all they have to do is bring over some art assets, tweak some code, work with them, and it's not a very long development process. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to 100% be free to play. I'm almost sure of that. Now, I'm sure the Eastern market version will be different than the Western market version. If they're smart, they will look at games like Path of Exile and monetize it towards a similar way. And if they do that, I think it'll be acceptable. Now, the main problem I think most PC gamers and console gamers have is, well, I don't want to play this on my phone. I have these expensive rigs at home. Either I have like a big TV and all my fancy stuff in my console, or the same with my computer. So, I can understand that. But from a profitability point of view, this makes perfect sense. And when you realize that some parts of the world, mobile gaming is the biggest thing, yeah, you want to break into that market with your titles. I don't like it in terms of, yeah, it does feel like a money grab a little bit, but I think that's just because of my perspective. And again, it's the climate. We saw, obviously, EA with Command & Conquer Rivals, which was an obvious money grab. EA is really out of touch. But then again, also because of EA, we have all the microtransaction controversy because of Star Wars Battlefront 2. I think the main problem here is that Blizzard kind of forgot what atmosphere we live in right now when they announced this without announcing other games that were in development. And that's really where this whole fiasco kind of escalated and blew way out of proportion. My best advice to you guys is this. I know you're mad, and I get it. But be constructive, offer constructive feedback. Don't just log into their forums and want to light people up. Go in there, voice your concerns, but do it in a constructive fashion. Take a few deep breaths, write what you feel, write what your concerns are, let them know. They did make a post. I know their community managers are going to be working on it. I hope somebody watches this video to kind of let them know that some of us get this, and I hope that if you guys listen to what I'm saying, you can kind of reasonably see why this is a thing. And it's not going to go away, and it will be successful regardless. But it also doesn't mean you have to get it. But I hope that at least we can kind of bring down the anger on this a little bit and get back to some reasonable communication with Blizzard to let them know what your concerns are, because I think that's the only way that anybody's going to come out of this ahead. That being said, guys, I want to take the time to thank you for coming to check out this video. Those are my final thoughts on this. I'm not going to make another video on this, I promise. But again, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come spend on my channel. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, or at least gives you food for thought. As always, if you want to have a discussion about this or some discourse, please leave a comment below. If you like what I'm doing here, please hit that like button for this video. If you want to see more about what I do, hit that subscribe button, and of course, because YouTube is YouTube, hit the bell for notifications about when I post a new video. Thanks as always. My name is Melkandor, and I'll see you around.